What up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mug. Hope you're doing well out there. One of the only ranges I have not painted many miniatures for, in fact, I can't think of any miniatures I painted for the Adepta Sororitas. So I want to remedy that in 2024 by adding a bunch of Adepta Sororitas miniatures to my eBay store, starting with this one. It's the Imagifier. The only option to do a variation of this sculpt is to switch out the heads. And right now you can see I decided to go with this hood, but you could also go with the fully enclosed, more militaristic helmet. I really love the pose of this figure with her left hand open, her right hand holding aloft this icon of a martyred sister of battle, and her bolters like slung over on her side. She's not really doing much fighting. She's running around the battlefield holding this big icon over her head and shouting about this dead Adepta Sororitas who died in battle and whose great deeds will apparently extol the other sisters of battle to great deeds of courage and bravery. So this is what the model looks like, all built up. You can click the link down below at any time. If you are interested in this miniature, it'll take you to my Amazon affiliate where you can purchase this model for yourself. And this is what it looks like on the cover. You can see the icon here is painted mostly in like this bone creamy color with some gold on the swords and everything. I cut out the back package, and here you can see a little color recipe. I like this. I think this is very interesting, and I wish they did this with more of their miniatures. Give you a little hint of what colors you would need to replicate this color scheme. Now, as I was looking at this, I realized, how am I supposed to build this miniature? I don't know. There's no instructions or anything. There's no usual diagram. And then I realized, oh, maybe it's on the inside of this thing. So I reached inside and I pulled it out, and lo and behold, just like National Treasure, I'm Nicolas Cage, y'all. Found the Constitution of the United States. It's right here on the inside, and there's like nothing, there's no hint to lead you to it. Just gotta either have the wherewithal to check it out before you throw away the packaging. But here you can see the alternate sculpt, either 4 or 11, the helmet or the hood. Everything else is standard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna whip out our clippers and our plastic glue and our hobby knife. Let's go! All right, players, I've got a little bit of a sped up assembly here, live assembly, where I'm going to be clipping all the pieces out of the frame, gluing it together for you in slightly sped up real time. And the first thing I want to emphasize, if you are a newer or less experienced hobbyist or modeler or wargamer, whatever you want to call yourself, is you want to have a great, sharp pair of hobby clippers. Not just sharp, but you want to make sure that whatever hobby clippers you have won't require a lot of force or pressure for you to get a good, strong, and clean cut. Now, I found that Army Painter makes the best clippers. They are comfortable, they fit snugly in my hand. There's a great cushioning around it so that it doesn't feel like I'm having to exert a lot of pressure, because the worst thing you can do is use a bad, cheap pair of hobby clippers that over time are going to just wreck your hand and make you miserable. Maybe even give you like carpal tunnel or just some like permanent nerve damage. You don't want to do that. So check out the Army Painter clippers in the description. I wouldn't have included it and made it a whole point to talk about in this video if I didn't think while I was assembling it, like, this is really something that I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm putting glue here on the miniature at all the points in the instructions that are highlighted in yellow. Games Workshop has been gracious enough to now highlight where they think the glue points are for the best connection and the best join. So you want to make sure that when you're gluing your model together, that you apply enough pressure and you press the pieces together so that that glue will really have a chance to bond. I'm unfortunately guilty of not doing too much of that in this build. I'm just trying to get through it as fast as possible. And so as soon as I can see a little bit of an adherence and a bond, I kind of just move on to the next step. But shame on me. I should be pressing it together and holding it there, especially with a model like this where the join is kind of right in the center of it horizontally. What I mean by that is if you look at the shoulder pads, because the front half and the back half are joined together rather than the shoulder pads going directly onto the shoulders as one single piece, if the model starts to separate while it's drying and it dries with a little bit of a gap between the two pieces, you're going to have a terrible gap in the shoulder pads. That's the last thing you want. And I better double check my miniature after this to make sure that the thing is drying with it like closed off. You know what I mean? Because this has happened to me a couple times, especially with Drukhari. The Drukhari witches and Kabbalite warriors are notorious for this. If you don't hold the torso front and back together and really make sure that bond is there and you move on to the next miniature, if that model separates and dries, you're gonna have this like big fissure gap from between the front and the back. There you can see right there, I'm working on it. Now, as I'm putting together the model here, I'm really trying to find multiple points of contact between the two pieces, because when you're building a unwieldy, top-heavy, awkwardly weighted model like this, then any like sort of pressure or like a bad fall off of the table could easily result in your model shattering and the pieces bursting apart if there's only one glue point. You want to make sure that your pieces, especially the unwieldy, awkwardly weighted pieces, are secured and attached by multiple points of contact. So I'm thinking here as I'm assembling the relic, the icon, where could I possibly join the banner, like the pole, to the body? Like, do I have to create a new angle to hold it in? There are different models like the Blood Dragon, Blood Knights for the Soul-like Grave Lords that are holding lances, or any number of standard bearers from the old world to Warhammer 40k to Warhammer Fantasy that really need multiple points of contact. Like, you want to have the banners like glued to the ground, to the base. You want to have the arm like obviously secured to the body. There's just so much that you have to take into account, because weight distribution on your model, it might not seem like an important issue when you're assembling it and you just want to get it done. But once that model is glued and you can't really do any more work on it, you want to get to painting. Like I said, one slip of your fingers, the model goes falling off of your hobby table, it hits the ground and flies into a million pieces. All right, this is the one part of the model I don't really care for. It's where the feet join the pole. There are little pockets that you can press these tabs on the top of the pole into, but the angle of it is just a little wonky. And again, that weight distribution is not doing this model any favors. You're gonna have to put enough glue there that you can press it, hold it in place, count to 20, and hopefully the glue will hold and there will be a strong enough bond that you can let go of it and it'll hold and keep itself upright when you're gluing the model to the base. And at this point, I really am just praying that the model will stay together and that glue will hold. So here I'm adding a little bit more glue to create a stronger bond. And then I'm like, okay, it's good. Job's a good one. I'm gonna put some glue here on the base, slap that baby on, and just pray that all that glue dries and holds it together. All right. So it's good. I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and then I'm gonna prime this model up, and then I'm gonna paint it up in the colors on the box art. I'm just really, really pleased with how it came together. The model is beautiful. The sculpt and the detail is really, really well done. It's like it looks top heavy because of how big that icon and that relic is, but it almost gives me the silhouette of like an hourglass, where you've got the relic icon on top. It's like a full body sculpture of an Adepta Sororitas, and then of course the full body figure of the Imagifier herself. It's a beautiful model. It's going to look great on the battlefield. It's really going to stick out because of how big this silhouette is, and it's taller than any of the other human-sized sisters on the field. There's just so many great sculpts in the Adepta Sororitas line. I'm so excited to get painting. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you're not a member of my Discord, I hope you join today. Click the link down below in the description. And like I said, I'm going to be painting her up for my eBay store. If you want to check it out for yourself and see what is up for sale right now, the link is down below in the description as well. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I hope you have a great day, great night, whatever time you happen to be watching this video in. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave me a comment, do everything that the algorithm likes so that I can get shared to more people. See you in the next one.